It is 24 hours to the presidential and parliamentary elections. Good morning. Welcome to NewsX. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, across all our social media handles. We are Joe News on TV. Now, with just a day to the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections, we'll gauge the mood across the country as we check the readiness of various stakeholders for this crunch polls. Also, what security measures are needed at this time? We'll hear from a security analyst here on NewsX. We also have a wrap of the final rallies of both the governing New Patriotic Party and the opposition National Democratic Congress here on NewsX. My name is Faustina Savo. Please take a seat. Be my guest. We are indeed your election headquarters. Now, I told you we're just 24 hours away from that crucial presidential and parliamentary elections. And you know that as your election headquarters, we keep you up to speed with all that is happening, giving you updates on the polls. Well, this morning, we want to do a trip around the country, checking up on the readiness of various stakeholders ahead of tomorrow's election. Let's start from Ilyasu Tango. He joins us from the Northeast region. Ilyasu, what's the mood in your constituency?
Hi, Faustina. If you can hear me, I'm currently live at the office of the Electoral Commission in Nalirgo in the Northeast region. The atmosphere has been very calm generally. Yesterday, the two biggest political parties brought to an end their campaigning, and the mood was generally peaceful, except few incidents that we had was recorded in the UU constituency, specifically in the community called Jimbali, where there was a clash between supporters of the NDC and MPP, leading to about 3 injuries. With the exception of this particular incident, the campaigns have been very peaceful, generally peaceful across the Northeast region. As you know, this is the region of the Vice President and the MPP's presidential candidate. And so since my arrival in the regional capital, I have seen influx of billboards and other, posters of the MPP presidential candidate more visible than the NDC's parliamentary candidate, ostensibly because I earlier mentioned that, of course, this is the home region of the MPP presidential candidate and also the vice president. Nonetheless, we've also seen intense activities from the opposition NDC and its candidate. Yesterday, the parliamentary candidate for the Nalirgo Gambaga for the NDC brought to an end his campaigning in the regional capital with a mammoth gathering in Nalirgo. Likewise, we also witnessed such gathering on the MPP side, where the parliamentary candidate also staged a rally that brought together a huge number of people. So as we speak, we have about 14 candidates across the Northeast region, largely representatives of the NDC and MPP, with the exception of the Cherponi and the Nalirgo Gambaga constituency, where we have a candidate from the PNC in this particular constituency. So we have the MPP, the NDC, and the PNC representing in the Northeast region. Unfortunately, as we are learning, there is no female among these 14 candidates currently representing the Northeast region. So if you ask me, the atmosphere has been very, very peaceful. There have been a lot of intense activities from a lot of stakeholders, civil society organizations and NGO, trying to speak to the people about the need to maintain peace ahead, during, and after these particular elections. And judging and speaking with some of the residents, people are very eager to cast their vote tomorrow and most people are also pledging to keep the peace, to vote and go home without any incident. As we speak, as I told you earlier, currently at the EC office and currently with a director of the commission in the region, and he's joining us to tell us the readiness of the commission in the region. So back to you, I'd like you to engage the Electoral Commission boss in the Northeast region, Faustina.
Thank you, Ilyasu Tanko. We're just giving updates on the actual situation on the ground as we look at just 24 hours to the election. Ilyasu Tanko, you have with you a rep from the Electoral Commission. I'd like to speak to him directly, just for him to give me a sense of how prepared the Electoral Commission is to organize a free and fair election in that region.
Yes, Mr. Poku, thank you very much. You are live on Joy News. My colleague would like to engage you, ask you a few questions about your readiness ahead of this particular election. Over to you, Faustina. Mr. Poku is ready for you.
Mr. Opoku, I just want to find out, how ready is the Electoral Commission to organize a free and fair election?
Let me indicate that Electoral Commission as institution in whole and the Northeast region is ready to conduct tomorrow's election. In election administration and management, when we say we are ready, it means we have deployed all the essential materials to the various constituencies in the region.
We seem to have lost connection.
And these materials go down to the various constituencies, all the registers, every single material that is needed to conduct the poll tomorrow is ready in the region and in the various constituencies.
So you've deployed your personnel. The ballot papers would also be at the polling centers tomorrow. At what time?
No, by operational arrangement in terms of distribution and storage, all materials to the 742 polling stations in the Northeast region will be at the polling station latest by 6 a.m. so that the poll can start at exactly 7 a.m. as designed by law.
How many voters are we expecting in that region altogether?
We are expecting over 350,000 registered voters to cast their ballot tomorrow.
Okay, before we let you go, your final words to our viewers who are wondering if indeed their ballot will be safe tomorrow.
Of course, with the intense arrangement with security, I can assure you that ballot is going to be protected. Security is ready to protect the ballot of every voter. And the atmosphere is such that we are going to have a very peaceful election tomorrow, not only in Northeast region, but the whole of Ghana.
Thank you, Mr. Opoku. Join us live from the Northeast region. Let's take you now to the Northern region. Martina Bugri joins us live with more. Martina, what's the situation at your end?
Campaign to an end. But last night was a different stage altogether. The lobbying in the various constituencies was so massive. This candidate enters this constituency, this ward, speak with delegate people in the area, move out, the opponent joins in. It was just like that throughout the night, where they tried to lobby the people ahead of Saturday's election. I must say the region has largely been peaceful and people are cooperating. You will find people from various political parties engaging and they seem as normal. People, especially stakeholders who have been speaking to the people in the area on how to maintain peace. They are excited because they have seen that it's a bit different. This year, we didn't have too many skirmishes before December 7th. So they are believing and hoping that it will go into the elections and over. The police have begun deployment because some have just arrived into the region. and we are told that they'll begin deployment to the various constituencies later in the day. But we are currently at the EC office, where we would hand you over to engage with the EC director, Mr. Lucas. He says that deployment started on Friday, so he'll be giving you details, Faustina.
Thank you, Martina. We'll just be engaging Mr. Lucas, a rep from the Electoral Commission, which is gauging the mood ahead of the elections tomorrow, just 24 hours away. Martina Bugri is in the northern region. Let's engage Mr. Lucas now. Mr. Lucas, just tell us, how ready is the Electoral Commission to organize a free and fair election tomorrow?
Yeah, in terms of logistics, we have received all the election materials. We received the BVDs first, then followed by the ballot papers, the statement of poll, and all these items have been dispatched to the various districts. And currently today, they have started parceling the ballot papers into the various boxes for deployment to the polling stations early tomorrow morning.
And what time do we expect the ballot papers to arrive at the polling centers?
Oh, we should receive them around 5 to 6, because we are telling them to be there earlier. And before the election day, they have all visited the polling stations to see and arrange the setting up of the polling stations. When they get the material, they should get there before 6, so that they're able to set up the center and do the necessary early filling of the statement of the poll before polling start at 7.
How many voters are we expecting tomorrow?
We are expecting 1,209,940 voters that will be voting at 2,445 polling centers in the northern region.
One key thing that has come up during elections, especially with the special voting, is ensuring that EC officials are fed on time, such that they won't be induced by political parties. Have you made arrangement for their welfare to get to them on time?
Yes, every election official will be given a package. We'll get them a meal, a lunch, and we'll convey them to the various places to start, so that they will not be tired or be looking for food, so that the centers, they can attend to voters who are coming to their centers.
For people watching, as we wrap up the conversation, how safe is their ballot in the northern region?
Safety will be in the hands of the security. We have held a number of discussions, and they are also making preparation to make sure that the elections are peaceful in all the polling stations in the region.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lucas. Join us from the northern region. Over 1 million voters are expected to cast their ballot in that region. That's why we're touching base there. Well, yesterday, we saw special voting in the western and eastern region. They had issues earlier, but then the special voting occurred yesterday, went on smoothly. The political parties, they've wrapped up with their campaign. Yesterday, we saw 2 major rallies from the 2 political giants, the NDC and the NPP. And so, in this time, we're looking at security, because that is topmost. For areas like Boku, security concerns have been raised, and we'll be engaging a security analyst shortly as we look at the security situation in Boku, but we'll still be touching base with our correspondents. Let's take you now to the Ashanti region, the base for the New Patriotic Party. Nana Bachi Adam joins us live with more. Nana, what's the situation there?
Well, first, you know that the Ashanti region is going to have a huge impact in tomorrow's election. And the various political parties, their leaders, all wrapped up their campaign in the region. This week, President John Mahama wrapped up his campaign in the region before heading to the Greater Accra to do the final rally. The Vice President was also in the region yesterday to have a meeting with the Ashanti Nation forces to the second. And that is all part of the arrangements that he made to wrap up their campaign before he also head up to the Greater Accra region for the final rally. And in the Ashanti region, they are expecting over 3 million voters to participate in this particular election. And for engagement with the patient done everything that is needed. Every arrangement has been made. Ballot papers will be distributed to various constituencies very early tomorrow morning, and we are expecting that the voting process will begin at exactly 7 a.m. tomorrow. And also, yesterday, before final rally of the various political parties. We have regional branches here in the Ashanti region, i.e. NDC and NPP, held a press conference to also talk of their preparations for the election, especially in the Ashanti region. For the NPP, it is 85% of votes. That is what they are targeting in the Ashanti region. For the NDC, 30% of votes in the Ashanti region is their target. That has been the message that is sent across whenever they start campaigning in the region. And so yesterday, during their press conferences, the NPP says that they are going to make sure that the target of 85% is secured. And for them, they are going to win majority of the seats in the Ashanti region. Now we know that the NDC has 4 seats in the Ashanti region. Just as Dumase, Asomase, and then Assam Plains. And so for these 4 constituencies, we believe that if not for anything at all, we are going to snatch 2 of them from the NDC, and they are going to return to the NPP. But for the other thing, we are going to battle it out with the NDC in the Ashanti region. On that aside, we are going to maintain the 44 seats we have in the Ashanti region, which includes the independent the communal constituency. And for the NDC, yesterday during their press briefing, they believe that they are maintaining the 4 seats to hold in the Ashanti region, and they are going to maintain, or they are going to start from the NDC in the Ashanti region. So the battleground here in the Ashanti region doesn't look easy when it comes to the election tomorrow for state.
Thank you, Nana Bachi Yadum, for bringing us that update. Let me take you now to the Volta region, one of the strong base for the NDC. Fred Kwame Asare joins us live with more. Fred, what's the situation in your end? Fred, you have to unmute for me to hear you clearly. Just tell me what's happening in your constituency and how ready are the voters to cast their ballots tomorrow?
I'm currently at the Volta Regional Electoral Commission office where sorting is ongoing. I am told that about 112,363 persons in the region will be participating in tomorrow's exercise. Also, they have 254 polling stations here. All logistics have been received by the regional office, and then sorting is ongoing. I've also been told that to make the exercise very effective, they are adding marker to the indelible ink, so that whether the indelible ink gets faded early, then marker that will be on your finger or your nails would be visible. Here in the whole central, 4 people are contesting: the NDC, the NPP, and then the NDP, and an independent candidate. The NDC is being represented by Kofi Potosi, who has embarked on a rigorous campaign activity here in the whole central of the Volta region. The sitting MCE for whole municipality, that is Divine Bossen, has also been campaigning intensively to wrestle the seat from the NDC. There's a new face in the political atmosphere of the whole central constituency, where Maulon Pluche, who is an independent candidate, is also contesting. He has been making waves and then ensuring that he's able to mobilize quite a number of people to endorse his candidature, so that he can represent the people of whole central in parliament and then bring some new face to election or political activities here in the whole central constituency. So I'm told all items will be deployed to the 254 polling stations by 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. So as we speak, everything is going on smoothly here in the whole central constituency of the Volta region. And then the Electoral Commission has assured that they would ensure tomorrow's exercise is successful here.
Okay, thank you, Fred Kwame Asare, joining us from the Volta region. Let's take you now to the OT region. Peter Seno is our man on the ground. Peter, is it safe to say everything is on track and we're ready for tomorrow polls?
Sure, Tina, everything is ready from what I see and what I know. And in the OT region, 9 constituencies will be going to the polls tomorrow, with some 423,765 registered voters on the EC rule are expected to cast their ballots tomorrow. But currently, I'm in the Akan constituency where the EC tells me that everything is set. Deployment of logistics will start about 4 p.m. today, and then that will take us into tomorrow dawn, when we will also be following up, and when they expect everything to get to the various polling centers in the constituency. And so we have here in the Akan constituency some 115 polling centers plus the special voting that took place days ago, make it 106, 115 plus 116. So that is what is happening here in the Akan constituency. And so last night, the wrap-up of the campaign activities, in fact, it was massive for both parties where they almost gathered at the same place with some about 150 meters apart, but everything went on peacefully until about 11 p.m. when they all closed down. So everything is safe here in the Oti region, and tomorrow we are getting ready to check on the grounds and see what exactly will come out of tomorrow's activities.
Peter Seno, thank you for that update. Join us live from the OT region. Well, in times like this, security is utmost. And what are the security measures that the Electoral Commission and other stakeholders can put in place to ensure credible polls? Let's engage Albert Liu Yang. He's the Executive Director of the National Network Coordinator for West Africa Network for Peace Building. Thank you so much for your time here on Newsdesk. Let's just get a sense of what we should expect tomorrow. We've heard from some of our correspondents that indeed the police have deployed personnel on the grounds. But in elections like this, we've seen cases where we have ballot box snatching. And so we want to know how the security operatives should be deployed tomorrow to ensure that such issues do not occur.
Thank you very much. And I greet all your viewers. My title is National Network Coordinator. Yes, so this election is yet another highly competitive election. And listening to your correspondence, and also that ONEP has been monitoring elections across the sub-region, including Ghana, the environment is quite tense. In view of the high stakes for these elections, especially between the two main parties, MPP and NDC. And you realize that there are heightened competition, to maximize votes in stronghold regions of the country where each of these political parties think they have dominance. Then we also are expecting highly competitive environments within the swing regions, that each of them think that if they maximize their votes, then they would likely have an edge as far as the elections are concerned. The security is deployed across board, and we've been monitoring that. We've seen them moving and locating and being allocated to certain constituencies and regions. And the public is very much aware of that. We hope that they will be able to ensure a securitized electoral environment. There has been a lot of conversations around that from several stakeholders, civil society, National Peace Council, and the state insecurity apparatuses and ministries, especially coming from the 2020 elections within the Fourth Republic, where we had some deaths occurring. There has been concern. How would it look like for this year? We are happy that the military, for instance, is indicating that they are not going to be part directly on the elections until it's necessary. And we hope that the security led by the police, who are providing election security, would have a very robust command and control structure that is ready to be able to maintain law and order and to react, professionally to situations that may otherwise occur. So we expect some good environments to occur tomorrow. Nevertheless, in view of the tension that is within the country as far as the elections are concerned, we should not think that it's going to be very smooth. And so we should brace ourselves for that, but not also intimidating the electorate, so that everyone can exercise his or her franchise come tomorrow.
It is interesting you make mention of that, not intimidating the voters, because there's a thin line between ensuring that there is peace and security, and also ensuring that there is no abuse of human rights by the security personnel. How do you propose that they ensure they don't cross that boundary?
I am certain that the security that has been deployed have been well oriented to ensure that they are professional in just watching and observing how situations unfold, how people join the queues, and how they go through the electoral procedure to be able to cast their ballots and move peacefully around, and come back when is due for counting of the ballots. We expect that they should watch people who would otherwise move contrary to laid down procedures, and probably use certain things that may not be welcome around the polling stations. We expect them to just observe and be very mindful of people who may be compromised around the elections, and everyone who is a stakeholder and participating in the elections can be compromised.
Thank you, Albert Youyang. He is National Network Coordinator, West African Network for Peace Building. While still on elections, the eminent person groups of the Christian Council of Ghana wants Ghanaians to prioritize peace, tolerance, and transparency throughout the electoral process. It is asking the presidential and parliamentary candidates to accept the results to deepen Ghana's democracy. Co-chairperson, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, has charged the political parties to ensure that the peace pact they sign reflects in their behavior and extends to the public. There's more in this report.
The political parties and their leaders, we thank God for their lives. And we thank God that even in them, we see that we have people who are ready to serve and to serve Ghanaians. We thank them for the campaigns that they have done. We see that there is a minimal attacks on personalities this year round, and we say it's a good thing. But coming out of this, let us see it reflect in the voting and the collation and the declaration. Whoever is declared as the winner, we should all rally behind and support so that we can move on. In a democratic way, voting, we know whom the people of Ghana have decided on to lead us, and it should be peaceful so that we can continue to live in peace for generations even yet unborn. So we believe that where we have called on our people in the mosque, in the churches, our members will go out there with that spirit. And as Christian, I can say that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children.
Meanwhile, the National Peace Council has called for collective responsibility in ensuring peaceful elections. The council is asking voters, political parties, electoral officials, and security agencies to preserve Ghana's reputation as a beacon of peace in Africa. The NPC has highlighted the importance of unity, tolerance, and vigilance, cautioning against actions that could jeopardize the country's stability.
Were drawn from the church leadership, traditional leadership, the NCC, political party.
We apologize for our inability to bring you that report. We'll bring it to you shortly. But let's turn our attention now to the final rallies of the governing New Patriotic Party and the opposition National Democratic Congress. We start with the NPP, where its presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, made a clarion call to the electorates to allow him to transform Ghana and build on what he says is a solid foundation laid by President Akufo-Addo.
The final rally of the NPP saw big wigs including former President Kufuor and the party's flag bearer Mahmoud Bawumia gather under one roof. Dr. Bawumia emphasized the transformative policies and programs implemented by the MPP, which he described as pivotal in advancing the nation's development agenda, as enough reasons why Ghanaians should elect him as president.
It is important to remind ourselves, because we are a problem-solving government, and Nana Akufo over the last 8 years has demonstrated this superbly. We have been solving problems. When we came into office and many people could not send their children to senior high school, we said free senior high school education for everybody. We have solved that problem. 5.7 million children are going. But what is even more important, when we came into office, there were more boys than girls in senior high school. For every 100 boys, we had 68 girls. Today, there are more girls than boys in senior high school.
President Akufo-Addo called on Ghanaians to vote for Mahmoud Bawumia due to his sincerity, and assured that he will continue the economic recovery the country is currently experiencing.
The MPP has the best candidate in the race, in the person of Mahamudu Bawumia, the most outstanding vice president in the history of our country. Honest man, a man of unimpeachable integrity. I've been working with him for 16 years. So be wagana to me at the Bawumia one dance here. I am me Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Former President Kufuor charged Ghanaians to consider the future of the country and elect Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to continue the good works the MPP government has implemented.
Where we have gotten now, people are talking of the fourth industrial revolution. I would add, it's not just industrial revolution, it's social revolution from east to west to north. We are identified as humans. As we are here now talking, we've introduced our candidates. Fortunately, he's a master of the technologies, the digitalization, and at the same time, freedom and human rights. So I'm begging Ghana, don't let us throw this candidate aside.
The MPP believes what the Akufo-Addo Bawumia government has achieved in the past 8 years will convince Ghanaians to give them the mandate on Saturday. But only time can tell what the outcome will be.
Well, at the NDC's rally, presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama reiterated his commitment to bring in positive change to Ghana that the country actually needs. Mr. Mahama highlighted his vision for a better Ghana, promising to restore hope and dignity to citizens if given the mandate.
Thousands of NDC supporters thronged the Zura Park at the heart of Medina on Thursday, clad in party colors for a final rally ahead of Saturday. Speaker after speaker, the NDC sold its message to the supporters and appealed for their votes. General Secretary Fifi Fiavikwete said as the party seeks to turn things around, the reset must start internally.
The reset of Ghana is not just about the taking over from the MPP. It is the reset of the NDC itself. NDC must understand that this is not business as usual. Ghana is not giving us an opportunity for us to come and do the nonsense that we have seen over the last 8 years. Charity must begin at home, and NDC must be the first to set that example. And John Mahama, I am sure, will lead that crusade. NDC, you must not disappoint Ghana. Ghana, NDC is the hope for you.
Party chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia called for massive vote for parliamentary candidate for a majority in the next parliament.
Ghanaians want majority, absolute majority of our candidates elected into parliament, because there's a lot of work to be done. We need a strong majority to be able to undertake the institutional reforms that are necessary to reset this democracy.
Greater Accra Regional Chairman Emmanuel Ashimo is promising to turn the region green with at least 1.5 million votes.
We will turn Greater Accra 2025 as the World Bank of the NDC and not a swing region. And the 1.5 million vote is also of course.
Flag bearer John Mahama charged all party supporters to cast their vote for the NDC on Saturday.
This is our moment, and the time is now to bring about the change we need in order to reset Ghana. And so let us vote on Saturday to reject despair and to choose hope. Let us vote to reject impunity and choose respect. Let us choose hard-working and trustworthy leadership. And I encourage all of you to vote for John Mahama. And I'll make you all proud of the Ghana that we are going to build together.
He also called on the supporters to stay vigilant in protecting their votes.
I urge you to resist the nefarious actions that some people are planning. To the people of Ghana, the National Democratic Congress will go to the polling stations with you. Together, we will police and courageously protect our votes and resist all attempts to steal them.
Away from the campaign trail, let's take you now to the Ashanti region, Kumasi to be precise, because the Ethiopian Airlines flight has just touched down at Prempeh International Airport in Kumasi. That's the first international flight that is touching down at the airport. Let's cross over now to my colleague Nanaya Aljima. He's there for us.
Yes, here to welcome the first passengers who just landed here in Kumasi. The flight not long ago, we have some of the passengers now coming out from the tunnel. As you can see out there, the flight, that's the Ethiopian airline, that is it. Much excited in the Ashanti region. This is the first time the people of Kumasi is having an international flight landing, bringing in passengers to the Kumasi metropolis. Already some of the passengers are out here and we spoke to them earlier. All of them are excited to get a flight straight from London or the United Kingdom into Ghana, Kumasi to be precise, and most of them are people who are residents here. Usually they would have gone to Accra and pick another flight or a vehicle to Kumasi, but today we have this flight landing in Kumasi. As I said earlier, this is an excitement to the people of Kumasi, and already the traditional authority in the Ashanti region, representatives of the Otumfuo, Asante Otumfuo 82 is here, and other traditional authorities are here to welcome the first passengers from the Ethiopian airline, the first international commercial flight to make a landing here in Kumasi. The Prempeh, the first airport not long ago, was upgraded to an international status, and this is the first flight that has landed in the Ashanti region. As you can see, these people are being welcomed by the crew. We have traditional dancers here welcoming the first flight, the first commercial flight to make a landing here in the Ashanti region. Very soon, the people who came on board will be received by the traditional authority, who are already seated here enjoying what is going on. And as I said earlier, all in the Ashanti region are excited to have a commercial flight, international commercial flight, making a land straight in the Kumasi Prempeh, the first international airport. So far, excitement all over the streets of Kumasi. The upgraded Prempeh, the first International Airport has received its first set of passengers through the Ethiopian airline. So as I said, the people of Kumasi, represented by the Traditional Authority, are receiving the passengers who came with the Ethiopian airline. So the board chairman of the Ghana Airport Company, Paul Adomatre, is doing an introduction to the Traditional Authority. Let's listen to him.
The dialysis machine be a hospital or for demo. Na yachia otu for no ne ye kan airport asem. Na na kire say ade ba ko a ya nanka onyaaya ananka ya ma na CP ene say Kumasi International Airport ye bie obi ehu say airport fefefe ama ye di ho adanse ya bo ho dewro wi ase afa na nyina na senkra brante bi ba Kumasi ha a oye adwuma o CNN the company kese wa America no oba ha twa video ka se Kumasi Airport na ne fani de hu bi oba bia wa Africa ha nti otu for the to enim say bibi body friend operationalization of the international airport so most international airport there na plane bia ba efin kran plane bia ba ha efin kran Africa World efin kran passion efin kran na kran ni Kumasi de sen kanya international Ghana ha ya nti managing director Ghana Airport Company management board members and a minister for transport Owura Kokofo Esiama na nyina ide etibom say asem otumfo aka no say ye ma ne ye ho otumfo so ka chen say yenye say echina asem yenye na animanim ya no ansa na di ye na bawe ye na nanom ye ba ha aseda ne nyame adom na ye beka say ne de etimi operationalize Kumasi International Airport ewiem hyen etu every Bruchimemu English memu London amfa Accra amfa Nigeria amfa babia abesi Kumasi Airport ha na SCC a yehui the passengers aba ya managing director Raba Yvonne Opare and your board member back Mrs. Philomena Sam no multiplane nimbi omo abedu the passengers aba anope ya wa higher train plane ni hu say Ethiopia Airlines the omo crew say emra hye ne kire say omo de wenhwem no ba for 6 hours so omo de bae no omo ntimi san fanko so bi foforo na de ko enti omo de be ko no ya wa anope no mo bae now you show mu video are fine nti crew no mo de plane be ko no kra arrive yan sana plane ba na plane no so mo man ho number na saying the way we are say ne de bibia out me check your phone so ti de ma journalist no mo nyina wa ho be dia dance ye mo nyina track plane no tu ye hu ye edu France ye hu ye edu Arab men mu ye hu ye edu Mali Burkina Faso ye hu ye across Tamale da nyame ase ye hu ye na abedu Kumasi nti ananom ye ba ya asempa.
That is Paul Adomatre, who is the board chairman of the Ghana Airport Company Limited, doing an introduction.
Thank you, Nana Bachi Adam, for bringing us that update. Nana Yaojima, rather. Well, that's how we wrap up the bulletin. It's been exciting during the past 60 minutes with you. My name is Faustina Safu. For more news, please log on to myjournline.com. Good morning.